about the final project that will be done in groups. The groups will be assigned and you'll see that on Blackboard. But let me go ahead and explain the requirements for the final so that way you're clear on what has to be done. Our business project, we're going to work on creating a company. So as we go through this, congratulations, you and a team of your classmates have been selected to create a company that will offer some sort of product or service to students at EPCC. Your team will brainstorm and work together to develop a proposal for a company. The type of company that you create is of your group's choosing, but let it be a viable and realistic company. Build on your experience and the concepts that we covered in the course. You'll be assigned a group, different ways for you to communicate virtually. You could also go ahead and use Blackboard as well and collaborate to go ahead and communicate with your group. Your group is going to be submitting a sample meeting agenda, a proposal, certain documents that you'll be submitting as a group, but this is to go ahead and explain the assignments that we're doing here. So then you're going to have in your proposal, you're going to have a name, logo, mission statement, vision statement, description of services, an organizational chart, a marketing piece, and a description of the climate. You want to make sure that you're working well together, you're coordinating, you're submitting one final project as a group. It's going to be organized and professional, and it's going to have the following. So page 1 is going to be a cover page where you have your company name, a logo, and the members of your group. Now as well, logo, there's different apps that will help you create a logo. So you can go ahead and use those apps to go ahead and create a logo, or even Microsoft Word documents or different software that's available. The second page, you'll do an overview of the company. A mission is as a paragraph is what the company stands for, and you can go ahead and decide with your group what your company will stand for. You will have a vision statement is where you see your company going, what do you envision your company doing for the community, for EPCC students specifically. The scope is what is the range, what is it that you're going to be offering, what is it that you're going to be doing, and description of services or product and location. So for example, say you're going to do a new cafe for EPCC students, where they can go ahead and as they have coffee, they can have a mentor, and that it's going to be a mentorship program that is going to mentor those that are incoming. It's different, different things, you can go ahead and do. So while they grab a coffee and they have a informal environment, they're going to receive the service of mentorship. So just different things. You can have a coffee shop, mentoring service, tutoring service, a restaurant, different things that you can go ahead and have. But be creative, think outside the box. What else can you do? So then you're going to have a structure of the company, and you'll see that it's a hierarchy, so there's different levels, right? You have your president at the top, vice president, then you have a certain department, accounting department, marketing department, if you have a bigger company. But also if you're going to do a smaller business, then you have the owner, you have maybe a manager, then you have the employees. So you depending on how you're going to structure your company, you're going to do an organizational chart. Then on the fourth page, you're going to describe the organizational culture or climate. So you want to have a climate that's supportive, that appreciates the work that is done by employees. And so you can go ahead and talk about how you're going to do that. And the next one, you're going to talk about that strategy, how you're going to build a supportive climate. Page 5, you're going to describe or you're going to explain 5 positions in your company. The enclosures where you have the marketing piece, or you have an advertisement, a flyer, a brochure. Flyer, brochure are the easier ones. Then you're going to do a PowerPoint with 5 slides where so you're able to pitch your ideas to potential investors and students. So to myself, I'm a potential investor. It's for you to practice. If I'm an investor, how are you going to get me to invest in your company? You would select information that you feel is really important to go ahead and share and make your pitch. You're going to be evaluated overall as a team. You're going to make sure that you make a strong proposal. You're going to I'll be doing evaluations of yourself and your peers, and so make sure that you divide the work equally, you do the work strongly, you're a good team member for your group. Okay. So now when you're on Blackboard, then you'll see all this. You're going to see, a video where I go ahead and explain the final. Then you're going to see here the requirements for it, the document that I just shared, it will be here. Then you have to, students have to make sure that you're opening the links that I put. There's an example of a proposal here from another group, example of a PowerPoint, example of a flyer, and then the templates that we'll be using to go ahead and do different things that you'll be doing as a group. But you'll see a clear explanation and a clear submission area for those things that you're going to be submitting as a group, and I'll explain it. But this video is to go ahead and talk about the requirements for the final. Then you'll see a place for you to go ahead and submit your requirements, and so everything will be there on Blackboard. This video was just to go ahead and explain what you're doing. So remember also, if you're dividing the work, divide it equally. Who's going to be doing, Mary's going to be doing page 1 and 2. Joe's going to do page 3 and 4. And Heather is going to do 5 and the flyer or brochure, the enclosure. And altogether, you're going to go ahead and do the PowerPoint. Now remember, you can share a Word document and you can share a PowerPoint through my.epcc.edu, right? You can also use Google Drive. It allows you to share documents and PowerPoints, and then you download them as a Microsoft PowerPoint, download them as a Microsoft Word document, and then you're able to upload that, right? But if you have, remember that to use that so that we're able to share everything, and it's also done, if you share that, then everyone's able to put all the information at one time, right? And so as I show that briefly, and let me close that out, as I show that, so here's my.epcc.edu, right? Then you can look that up, and then you go to apps. And remember that if you want to know how to download, you can have Microsoft Office free as an EPCC student. You can go ahead and contact me. But anyway, say I was doing a PowerPoint, different documents here, a new one. Then you go ahead and you would click share, and then you would put the email. Get emails that your group uses, and you put the email everyone, and then you hit send, and you share it. Then everyone's able to go ahead and put their information together. So use this. It's available for you to use. The same thing with the Word documents. So say I would go to Word, a new document, then it will go ahead and it'll come up, and then I would hit share, and then you go ahead and you share your file. So this is how you do the documents, for the assignments that we're going to have and for the group project. So you can share them so everyone's able to put their information, so everyone's working equally and doing the work strongly, right? But once again, so this is what you're doing. This is also available on Blackboard, and here is what has to be done in detail. And I provided an explanation for the requirements for the final. And if you have, once again, if you have questions, always feel free to reach out to me. Let's have a successful and just strong final and end the course successfully. Thank you, everyone.